Good morning. Welcome to the Stylo News Intelligence Update for March 18th, 2026. Today, our focus is on the Gulf, where a regional conflict is rapidly showing signs of expanding with some pretty significant global implications.
Now, this intelligence update is brought to you by our sponsor, ProWave AI. They're the ones who developed the AI-powered intelligence tools like Stylo Intel and Stylo News that we use in our analysis.
And to mark their one-year anniversary, they're actually running a special for our viewers this month. If you use the code STYLO, that's S-T-Y-L-O, at stylonews.com, you can get a discount on a subscription. Just keep in mind this offer is only good through the end of March, and it's limited to the first 250 subscribers. Okay, so let's get right into our assessment. What's the bottom line here? The conflict we've been tracking between Iran and the US and Israel is, well, it's not contained anymore. We're now seeing it expand in some pretty dramatic ways, not just in terms of geography, but also in how the fight is being waged.
This map here is really going to be our guide for today's briefing. As you can see, the recent hotspots are spread out, from attacks in the Gulf itself to military actions in Iraq, Syria, and Lebanon. It gives you a real sense of just how much this conflict zone is widening.
To really get a handle on this expansion, we're going to break it down across three very distinct fronts. First, the maritime domain right there in the Gulf. Second, the aerial theater across the wider region. And third, something that's becoming more and more important, the cyber domain.
Let's start on the water. Iran's strategy is spelled out pretty clearly in this statement from a general in the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC. He said, "The Persian Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz are under our full control. I dare the Americans to send their ships." You know, that's about as direct a challenge as you can get, especially when you're talking about one of the world's most critical waterways.
So, how are they backing up that claim? Well, it's not with a traditional navy of massive warships. It's what we call an asymmetric strategy. They're using swarms of drones, sea mines, and small, fast-attack boats to try and level the playing field. And the ripple effects are huge. This threatens about a fifth of the entire world's oil supply. It's causing insurance premiums for shipping to skyrocket, and it's already brought tanker traffic from the region to a near standstill.
All right, let's shift our gaze from the sea to the skies, because the conflict is heating up there too. Just to give you a sense of the scale, in just one recent event, the United Arab Emirates managed to intercept a barrage of 33 drones, and not just drones, but also 9 ballistic missiles that were launched from Iran.
And this air war goes well beyond the Gulf. We've seen NATO get involved, intercepting Iranian missiles over Turkey, and then there's a pretty significant claim from Iran that they shot down a U.S. KC-135 tanker aircraft over western Iraq. It's clear the aerial battlefield now stretches far beyond Iran's own borders.
But this conflict isn't just physical. That third front has opened up in the digital world. You know, we're used to thinking about kinetic warfare, bombs, missiles, things that cause physical destruction. But digital warfare is different. It uses code to attack and destabilize critical infrastructure from anywhere on the planet.
And here's a perfect example of what that looks like in the real world. A cyber attack, which has been linked to Iran, recently hit Stryker, a major U.S. medical firm. This wasn't a military strike. It was a digital one that wipes data. But the effects were very real. It disrupted operations in 79 countries and caused delays in actual medical procedures, things like a knee surgery in New Hampshire. It's a stark reminder that this conflict's impact is now reaching civilians thousands of miles from any physical battlefield. So it's pretty clear this is no longer just a regional issue. It has serious global consequences. Let's take a closer look at the impact on energy, the geopolitical risks, and what might come next. The most immediate impact for everyone is visible in the energy markets. I mean, just look at this chart. Before the recent escalation, a barrel of oil was sitting around $85. By early March, it had already climbed to $100, and now it has surged past $120. That's a price hike that affects economies all over the world.
Understanding where this goes next means we have to understand the goals of the key players. The U.S. wants to degrade Iran's ability to attack while keeping sea lanes open. To do that, they're using airstrikes and planning a naval coalition. Iran, on the other hand, is seeking what it calls the complete surrender of its enemies, and it's using the Hormuz blockade to assert its power. And finally, Israel's objective is to neutralize what it sees as threats, and it's carrying out its own strikes on IRGC and Hezbollah targets.
So, all of this brings us to the most important question for today. What are the most likely things we should be watching for in the immediate future?
Our analysis suggests 4 key developments to keep on your radar. First, look for a formal announcement of that U.S.-led coalition to escort oil tankers.
Second, expect to see continued attacks from Iran's IRGC on energy infrastructure in the region. Third, watch for growing diplomatic pressure, especially from the UN and China, pushing for de-escalation. And finally, keep an eye on the potential for this conflict to spill over into other strategic choke points, like the Bab el-Mandeb Strait.
Now, this briefing has really been a top-level look at the key patterns we're seeing. But if you're looking for a much deeper dive into the intelligence and the source material, we've got a full breakdown ready for you.
That full analysis is titled Iran Intel Update War Expands Across the Gulf, and it's available right now. For the complete intelligence breakdown, where we look much closer at the source perspectives and potential scenarios, you can find the full Stylo News Intel update on your favorite podcast platform, or just follow the link that accompanies this post.
Thank you for tuning in to this morning's Intelligence Update.
And to stay ahead of the story and get more AI-powered news on demand, we invite you to subscribe to Stylo News at www.stylonews.com.